I just wanted to do a quick video today, and it's about the importance of vetting your relationships. Everyone online is talking about this guy. I believe his name is Jay Black or Rajee Black or something like that. Anyways, everyone knows the story already. If you look it up, you'll see hashtag Rajee Black. And what it is about is a man who murdered his baby mom and his ex-wife. Alright? So, it's a very sad story, but it's also a very infuriating story because people are getting the wrong things from it. They are using this story for the wrong motives. They are using this story to say, look, see how the courts work? And that's partially true. Or they're looking at the story and say, see how violence against women is? And that's partially true too. But here's the problem. We don't know how to hold each individual person accountable in our society. So there is a court part, right? The people who don't want to acknowledge the court part, they totally ignore the court part and how unfair it is against men in this case. Then there's the murder part. The people that want to stand with this guy against how unfairly he was treated according to his words, they don't want to acknowledge that the fact that this idiot murdered people. And then there's the women's part. I see it with my job all the time. Women that keep their children away from their man after they chose that man to procreate with. They do this and then they will say and lie. Now, allegedly, because we don't know if everything he said was true. But according to him, the women that were keeping his children away from him were lying and saying that he was molesting his children. That is a lie that's often used. All you got to do is talk to about 10 to 20 fathers in the court system, and you will know that that is a common lie that women use because they know that's a catch-all for now I can just have full custody of my children. That is a lie used. Now, that's wrong as well. What we have to do and be able to do in these situations is apply accountability to everyone that it belongs to without shirking responsibility to those it does belong to as well. Not saying, one party is totally innocent. No, there is no innocent in all of this. There's wrong on all sides. As a man, you know why vetting is so important? Is because you won't choose a stupid woman, a low-down woman, that will accuse you of molesting your children. That's your responsibility. And then choose another one who does the same thing. That means your woman picker is off. That means you don't have the common sense or the wisdom or the knowledge to choose a woman that's right for you. And instead of giving and letting go of our pride as men, we go and we choose another woman. That's the same caliber, low caliber of woman that we chose before. And then we complain about the bad things that happened to us. For the women, you chose that man to procreate with. You chose that man to be the father of your children. And then a lot of women will go and lie and use that child as a weapon to keep away from their fathers, as if fathers are not important to raising their children. And we see the consequences of that in the black community. And look, I'll tell you this, and this does not in any way mean that what his actions were justified. But I'm going to tell you, ladies, you cannot play around with a lot of things. Just because the court is on your side doesn't mean everything is there to protect you. You got to be safe. Safe about who you procreate with, who you create life with, and safe about who you threaten. You don't threaten a man. Me and my wife, we don't even play like that. We don't even play around with the fact that she could just take the kids one day and leave. We don't play like that. We don't even mention that. Because as a man, that is everything I live for. So you don't want to play around with a man like that. Does that mean that when you play around like that, or when you do stupid things like accuse a man of something he didn't do, that he should get a gun and kill you? No! Murder is wrong in every case. unless it's self-defense, which in that case, I don't consider it murder. I consider that a person that did not value their life and tried to threaten somebody else and lost their life. But in this situation, a lot of people have no idea how to give responsibility to all parties. In the court systems, we see men are getting the short end of the stick. I've seen it in cases of good men myself. Men who have done everything to get their children back. And the court just plays along and drags them along, and then they spend $1,000 and $10,000. And I know a man right now who's a good friend of mine who went broke, and he makes way more money than me. He went broke trying to get his kids back, and he was just so disappointed. Borderline going through like a depression because he didn't see his kids for years. And he didn't do anything wrong. This is a good man. What do we learn from this? You must vet your women, men. Vet them. Ask other men of the church, elders, is this woman of good character? Do you see any flaws in her? That will alleviate 90% of the problems. Women, it's even more important for you to vet, because the violence a man is capable of when he feels his life is over is going to affect you if you choose the wrong man. You got to be careful. And as far as the court systems and the unfairness that men face, I do believe it's there, but I still put the responsibility on you. Won't have to face the courts as a man if you choose a good woman. Now, some people will say, well, you don't know a woman's full character until when you marry her, she's going to change and do all that. That's why you vet her with people with wisdom who have been married for far longer than you have. Because people can see around corners that you can't. And oftentimes people are blinded by what they think is love. I remember when I was dating my wife, and my parents said, hey, she's a good lady. And then other women that had brought around before, no, Jeremy, stay away from her. She ain't good. She does this, this, and that. I don't know about that one. And I listened. And now when I look back 10 years ago and from to till now and see where those women that I were looking at are now, my parents were right. I would have had a horrible life if I had chose those women. That should mean something to us. What can we learn?